Well, you all know Tom Randles as Channel 4's talented evening news anchor, but did you know that Tom is also a talented jazz musician as well? Yeah, he's just released his fourth album, Destination Music City, and Tom is joining us now to tell us all about it. Tom, so great to have you on the show.
It's so great to be on the other side of the interview process.
A different seat here. You know, we're so used to seeing you on the news desk. What a lot of people may not know is that you're, like we said, a very talented musician.
Well,
so let's talk about how you got into music. It's something you said you've done your whole life.
About age 6 is when I started. I mean, my dad was a musician, a guitarist, a singer, a gospel singer. So I grew up around music, and it was kind of a natural. I have one older brother, and they recruited us to start playing with them. So at a very early age, we started playing music and performing. And during high school, while my buddies were working at convenience stores or fast food restaurants, I was out really kind of touring the Midwest and playing. So it was a lot of fun.
That's right. And you became a multi-instrumental artist too.
Well, yeah. I mean, guitar was my main instrument. By the time I got to college and had to leave playing with other people, the groups on the road, so I could study, there was a piano in every dorm on campus. And so I said, you know what, nobody's playing these things. So I decided I'm going to learn how to play piano and some other instruments, and I started, you know, learning several other instruments after that, and it stayed with me.
That's right. Now, earlier we were talking, and you said you knew you wanted to go into television when you were in high school, but music really has been your first love.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I'm passionate about both, and having been exposed to both. My first broadcasting job was a sophomore in high school. I landed a job at a radio station doing news, so I knew naturally I was going to pursue that. And in fact, I decided to double up my course load my junior year in high school so I could graduate, so I could get to college. I was really anxious to get into broadcasting as well.
Right.
So I love both.
Yeah, and we love that you are still doing both. A lot of people don't know it. You know, you're an anchor by night, but really by day you're the musician. So we love that.
Well, actually, it's kind of like this. I'm the musician by really late night after the news. That's so kind of, yeah.
That's what you go home and do, right?
That's right.
Okay, we're going to take a listen for folks who haven't heard your music before. This is a concert you recently played at. Let's take a look. Definitely a side people haven't seen before.
That's a concert at World Music in Bellevue, and that's guitarist Vinny Giosa, world famous guitarist, who invited me up on stage to play his concert with him. He's a great guy, and it's a lot of fun. That's what I do a lot of. I don't have a band right now because this was a studio project, the album that I just released. So when people invite me up to play, that's my opportunity to get a chance and do stuff that I'm not able to do otherwise.
Right. And the album you just mentioned is Destination Music City. It's what you've been working on. You've worked with a lot of artists while in the making of this, right?
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, this was awesome for me. And do you recognize that street there, Carrie?
You know, yes, that's actually First Avenue, right?
There you go.
Right on the river, right?
There you go. Yeah. That's right on the river there. Yeah, I got a chance to work with a couple of really talented musicians on this project, one of whom is Jim Williamson. Jim happens to be the director of the Nashville Jazz Orchestra, but he's also played with world-famous musicians like Aretha Franklin and the Temptations and the OJs and people like that. Kenny Anderson, my saxophone player for this project, same thing. You know, he's played with Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine, and you know, Bobby Caldwell and Arturo Sandoval. He did work with Tower of Power. You know, so these guys are like, you know, world-class musicians who decided that they would play on my project, and I'm real happy about it. Tiffany Johnson did some vocals for one of the songs, I'm All Right, which you told me you liked quite a bit.
I did. You know, I listened to this whole CD and love it. It's great. And that was one of my favorites on there.
Now, what do you think about the rap song? I did a rap song.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't think Tom Randles raps, but you do.
No, I actually recruited a young rapper. That's not me, but that's a guy named Roy Kelly that I recruited to do the rap in that song. It's sort of a sort of Ludacris meets Carlos Santana, if you will. But I had a lot of fun on this project. Yeah,
it sounds like it, definitely. We're going to give people a listen to one of your new singles. It's called Flow and Freestyle. Take a listen. jamming over here. Now, talk about the process of making this CD.
Well, here's what was really fun. You know, this took several years for me to actually do. But the great thing is, you know, there were so many great musicians and great recording studios and engineers who were in town. You know, I got to work with a couple of really, really good guys. Mark Thompson over at Sweetbriar Recording Studio. You know, he was gracious enough to let me, you know, use his facility. In fact, that's where I recorded the song with Tiffany Johnson, I'm All Right. And Mark was outstanding. I had a guy master my project named Dave Shipley. He's out in Franklin. And the nice thing about most of these guys, you look on the walls and they're just like covered with all these hit artists and hit songs, you know, stuff they've either produced or records they've mastered, and these people made the process of actually putting together a really quality sounding CD very easy for me. So I'm grateful to be in Music City. That's one of the reasons, by the way, why I did come here. I thought, well, you can make some really good music connections here.
That's right, because you said you're actually from Northern Indiana.
That's right. That's where I grew up. My dad's from Tennessee. Mom's from Alabama. They met down here and then moved away and decided to start a family up near the Chicago area.
Right, and this is a perfect place for you.
Sure
and
is.
you know, you've really got the whole experience. I guess it was in 2010 you got to play on the Opry. We got a picture here.
That's right. I did Holly Williams. I got a chance to perform with her. That was November 5th, 2010. That was one of those situations where I didn't get a chance to practice, so I was pretty nervous.
I'm sure.
When I took the stage with her, but it all turned out fine, and they actually gave me a standing invitation to play the Opry anytime I want. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, such a legendary stage right there.
Oh, it is. And that's
Amazing
Pete Fisher. He's a really good guy. He's the guy who actually invited me, so thanks, Pete. Appreciate you.
Hey, where can people get your music? I know you have a CD release party coming out.
Right. TomRandles.com is one of the places, but it's available online at all the normal online retailers, you know, like Amazon.com, CDBaby.com. But if they go to my website, I've got direct links there, and you know that's where people can get it.
Right.
And I've got
the release party.
The release party. I've got a release party coming up April 28th on historic Jefferson Street. It's going to be at the Garden Brunch Cafe. That's going to be on Saturday, and that is the 28th, as I mentioned. Starts about 6:30. Go for a couple of hours. It's going to be intimate, only 45 to 50 seats, so that'll go pretty fast. So if you want to get on board with that,
all right,
you gotta
we'll
hurry.
see you there, Tom. Thanks, and hey, we'll see you a little bit later. Thanks for coming a little early to work today to talk to us.
This was fun.
It was.
Thank you, Casey.
Thanks again. Hey, again, Tom's 4th album, Destination Music City, is available now. You can order yours by going to TomRandles.com.